Experience the most amazing astrostructure. Together, we walk into the ocean.
I gotta stop. I have to stop. What is wrong with this? Hey y'all, I'm coming. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It's too early to be laughing already. I'm coming, y'all. I apologize. Oh boy. I hope everybody's doing okay. Get this thing going and we're gonna get started. Set it back here somewhere. We're gonna get going here. Hey, do me a favor, if you haven't already, liked the video and shared the video. I would greatly appreciate that. If you would just like and share it, that would be great. Well, I'm acting like I can't clip a microphone. There we go. About that. That's better. All right. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. It's good to be on with everybody tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. If you haven't already liked the video, share the video. Go ahead and type in the city, state you are tuned in from. If you are from America, if not, the country that you're tuned in from. Let's shout some people out real quick. I want to get right into it. All right. Ohio, thank you so much. Connecticut, appreciate you. Yes, laughter is hilarious. Just over here in tears. Hey, honeybee. Pocatello, Idaho, always Miss Stephanie, I appreciate you. So grateful for your support. Tucson, Arizona, Greensboro, thank you, Miss Caitlin. Hope you're doing well. Really appreciate all of you. Jacksonville, Florida, Colonial Heights, Virginia. Keep going, keep going. And you all know the drill. Once you type in the city, state that you tune in from or country, hit the like button and hit the share button. We are making this transition for Thursday Lives to be on YouTube, and so it's a transition, but I'm good with it. I love building things from scratch. And in fact, I'm finding this to be quite fun. So like the video, share the video, and let's get as many people as possible to tune in. I think it would be great, and I really would appreciate it. We've got an incredible part 2 tonight. They Never Belong to You, part 2, and it's going to be great. Panama, hey, Miss Ivy. Miss Ivy is all the way in Panama, and I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. But it's good to be back on with you all tonight. And I really appreciate your support. Cincinnati, Ohio got a big announcement to mention tonight. And so I want to try to get as many people here as possible. Hey, Miss Erica, Raleigh, North Carolina, appreciate you. I want to try to get as many people here tonight because I'm really going to stick to my 60 minutes. I've been doing a better job at that. I have to do a better job at that because of some big things that are coming. So, Dallas, Texas, appreciate you. Aiken, South Carolina, good evening. Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. Did I say that right? Is that a typo? Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. I've never heard of. But thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be fun tonight. Let's deal with part two of They Never Belong to You. And I've got quite a few things that I need to announce. I'll just deal with it sporadically as we get in. Before we get started, do me a favor, make sure you like the video, share the video. Grab a journal if you don't have one already. Please, ma'am and sir, continue to do a great job of keeping the comment section as professional as possible. I really would appreciate that. And really thankful for our moderators who do a really good job. Miss Caitlin, Miss April, and those of you that also um, tune in and add on. Thank you for your support and for your due diligence in the chat area. Let's try to keep Inspire Nation as professional as possible. And remember, of course, eagles fly high above birds. It's so very important to remember. And I promise you, if you remember that, you're going to go a long ways. Support the show, like the show, support the show so we can leave this live up. And many people can be beneficiaries of what we'll share tonight. I'm very excited about tonight's live. I missed my soundboard. I really wish I had my soundboard last week because last week was very good and a lot of important things that we talked about. And I suspect this week won't be much different. And so just excited to be on with you. I'm run out of space here on my little desk, but very excited to be back with you. I hope all of you are well. If I say something that you like, something that resonates with you, make sure you type church in the comments with as many R's as possible. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have not purchased a ticket for Transformation 180, make sure you do so right away. Those tickets are on sale. And I think all but two of our locations or two of our stops have locations solidified. And so you'll see all of that information on www.zebthethird.com. And I would greatly appreciate your support. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I've told and expressed to the team of volunteers that whether 200 people show up or 2 people show up, the purpose of Transformation 180 is for you to bring your challenges related to fear, anxiety, and stress so that we can move you to alignment and healing. And that's very important. And so this is not a tour, and but this is an opportunity for you to bring a problem and have it resolved. And so I'm looking forward to it, and certainly hoping those of you that are prepared to work show up ready to work. All right, so let's get into it. Tonight we're talking about part 2. They never belong to you. This is going to be fun, and I've got, like I said, several announcements I need to share with you. I'll sprinkle it later in the show, but let me just recap really quickly what we talked about last week, because last week was very intentional in the context of really differentiating between ownership and assignment. And one of the things that I know people are struggling with as it relates to the ability to let go and disconnect is people just cannot differentiate between a relationship that they own versus a relationship that has been assigned to them. And we talked last week about relationships of all sorts, up to and including good marriages, are still assignments. We don't own anything. And this is a perspective that you have to get comfortable with. If that is a perspective you cannot grasp, then this live is not going to make sense to you. Right? So if you're on the my man tip, this ain't going to make sense. Okay? It's just that simple. If you're on that tip, this is not going to make a lot of sense to you, because as much as that is culture, that perspective absolutely keeps you bound when it comes to your ability or inability to let go. We don't own anything, up to and including people. You don't own anything. So let's be very clear about this notion of ownership versus assignment, in that when you connect with people, you are connecting with them not from the standpoint of possession, but you're connecting with people from the standpoint of assignment and experience. Everybody, everything in your life that comes into and out of your life has an assigned experience to it, right? That's noteworthy. Everything that comes in and out of your life has an assigned experience to it automatically. We oftentimes don't understand what that experience is until after the fact. This is what makes events, life events like death and divorce and separation, all breakup, all very significant, because a lot of times you won't understand the assignment of a thing until the assignment has ended. All right. So this is very important. And so I don't care what the relationship or the connection is, we don't own anything or anyone but ourselves. Now, I can make a spiritual argument for those of us that have a spiritual foundation that we don't even own ourselves. And I don't I don't want to go down that road tonight because I know me, I'll end up in a bunny hole. We don't even own ourselves. But the reality is, whether it is a relationship, if you're a parent, it doesn't matter what it is. A job, you don't own anything. And this perspective is an absolute mind shifter or game changer or game shifter when it comes to moving out of this place of attaching to people from a place of ownership versus assignment. All right. And we talked about that a lot last week. Go back and watch the replay. Thank you all for supporting so much. And it was really, really helpful. We also talked about the different types of seasons, and that's where we left off. So, this is where I want to pick up. We were talking about the 5 areas of healing um, in the context of why we hold on too long. And really, I was just dealing with the first three, right? Mental, emotional, and spiritual. And I left off by talking about how many people question God instead of trusting seasons. And when you understand that everything has a season to it, then you don't even have to worry the God you serve about a thing when you know seasons will shift things regardless. Had a really good conversation with a client this week who had a major breakthrough, where she realized that a lot of the things she was, as a Christian, she's a Christian, a lot of the things that she was believing God for to change, to stop, to correct were really things that had to change because of ending seasons. And your relationships work the same way, that you can choose to fight against a season that's trying to happen. And all you're doing is just delaying the inevitable. And when you delay the inevitable, trying to stop things from happening, trying to stop people from leaving, trying to stop people from walking away, trying to stop people from not being in your life, no longer wanting to be in your life, trying to do all of these things, what you're doing is attempting to hold a season that has been designed to start. And you're not going to be able to stop. Look, I don't care how much you fight against things. You can't stop a season. You can't. And whenever that season ends, especially in the context of a relationship or connection, the best thing you can do is take the path of least resistance and be open to allowing seasons to come, seasons to go, seasons to start, seasons to end as they may. This is very important. Why is this important? Because then it brings us to what I want to start with tonight, and that is the triangle of trust, right? Many of you have downloaded my triangle of trust. I'll have those products back up online here in the next week or two as I've been going through this business reshift. And many of you have downloaded my triangle of trust, and I want to talk about it a little bit tonight because there are 3 things that oftentimes hurt us when it comes to the triangle of trust. And those 3 things are fear, control, and faith. Fear, control, and faith, right? We may have briefly touched on this last week. When we're operating in fear, we ask ourselves things like, what if I never find a person again? Right? Remember the context of this month and talking about relationships this month, as you guys requested that I do, the real purpose of this series here is for you to understand that when fear is present in your connections, you are bound to lose what you have sooner than what you had to. Many of you may not believe this, but the reality is some of you forced seasons to end faster than they should have because you showed up not secure, but perhaps anxious or avoidant. And through your anxiousness or your avoidance, your behavior caused seasons to end faster than what they had to. I had to explain this to somebody this week who was on a healing journey, but she's anxious. And I had to make it really clear to her. The reality is, you can hope and wish for a healed, secure man all you want to. Men, you can be anxious and hope and wish for a secure woman all you want to. But if you don't fix your anxiousness, if you don't fix your avoidant behavior, what you may even attract a secure person and end up dating a person, but you're going to shorten the season because of your anxiety and your avoidant behavior. Let me put it this way. There are some seasons that didn't have to end the way they did and may have still been continuing if many of us didn't show up in spaces not healed. Not healed. I don't know where we got this notion that because a person is secure, that they should be able to take more. let, let me make this clear. Just because a person is secure doesn't mean they are supposed to just take more. No. One of the things that I know about being secure is that when you are secure, you have boundaries, and those boundaries come with time expectations, which means you can take a little bit, but because you are really good at setting boundaries, you will not allow yourself to put up with things no longer than what is reasonable and acceptable to those boundaries. So, fear can cause you to lose out on relationships, lose out on meaningful connection. Listen, there ain't nothing more raggedy than not having your attachment style healed, wanting a secure person, getting them, and then completely running them off because you struggle with things like fear. If you're not secure enough in the things that have happened regarding your past, regarding the wounds associated with fear, if you are not healed and secure enough in those incidences to date someone secure, I would highly recommend that you just take a break from dating. Because if we're being truthful, some of us, the reason we're saying they never belonged to us was not because we should not have had a longer season with them, but because we shortened our season with them because we didn't show up secure. Oh my God. And a secure person can sniff things like fear and insecurity and uncertainty from a mile away. From a mile away. Let's go further. Second element of that triangle, control. Why is control critical when it comes to the connections that we have? It's simple, because control will have you trying to force things and trying to make things and force things to work that maybe weren't supposed to work, or maybe the time limit regarding those things working has expired. Thank you, Miss Naomi, for the support. I appreciate you. That's what control does. Control says, I'm going to make this work. Control said, I got into this last week. Control says many of you have used control when you call yourself manifesting people. Look at the trouble here. Oh, I'm gonna say it again. Let me get my list together. I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting my partner, my ex. My ex left me, and I'm manifesting them back. Why don't you just relinquish control and just let whatever be just be? Why you gotta manifest something that left? I want to say that again slow. Why do you feel the need to manifest something that left? Yes, y'all do manifest people. Y'all do it. Y'all manifest people. You got people on your vision boards. Some of you got Ouija boards. Some of you got little dolls with needles in them. Some of y'all do all kinds of crazy stuff. Why? In the name of control. In the name of control. I'm talking about every race. I'm talking about every religion. In the name of control, that's what you do. Trying to force stuff to work. Some of y'all are controlling in your prayers. Oh my God. You know how I know? Because for those of you that believe in prayer, you try to use prayer to coerce situations. So instead of you praying stuff like, hey, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever you believe in, me is God. Hey, God, whatever will or direction you have for my relationship, for this connection, let your will just be done. Y'all don't pray that. You know what you do? God, God, you said I could have the desires of my heart. You start manipulating scripture and stuff. God, you said I could have the desires of my heart, and this is what I want. You told me if I delight myself in you, you give me the desires of my. You come up with every way to just say, God, I want this like this. And what is sad is from a spiritual standpoint, many people are more control freaks than they are believers. Oh my God. And we know this by how you pray, how you seek things, how you try to manifest things. We know this because you have serious control issues. And when you have control issues, I'm telling you, I don't care if it's a great relationship. I don't care if it's a seemingly picture perfect relationship. If you are so connected to that relationship that you feel the need to control it, you are doing nothing but shortening the lifespan of that relationship. Control, record this, will always shorten the lifespan of any connection. Put it in the chat. You're going to be the smartest person in the water cooler all week. Control does nothing but shorten the lifespan of any connection. You want a connection to die? Try to control it. I don't care what it is. If you want a connection to die, try to control it and watch how you end up choking out the connection. Oh, that was deep breath worthy. You know how black folks do. Man, that was deep breath worthy there. Control always. Y'all know Doc crazy. Y'all don't mind me. Control always shortens the lifespan of any connection. So the stuff you could have enjoyed longer when the breakup occurred, instead of you recognizing your role in the role of control and allowing that relationship to fall apart, you start blaming. You start blame shifting. You start talking about how people didn't treat you and didn't handle you instead of pausing and saying, you know what? If maybe I was not as much in control of the outcome regarding this connection, that maybe it would have lasted a little bit longer. Now, some of y'all are going to have to step up some of you are going to have to step up to first class tonight to get this. Doc doesn't have a lot of time to explain basic things. I love y'all. But listen, he ain't got time to explain a lot of basic stuff. If you're not familiar with the impact of fear, control, and faith on your healing journey, you got to go all the way back to the basics. Get the 5 years of healing, the links in my bio. Start there. Okay? Start there. These are spiritual principles, and this is where there's a disconnect. We understand mental wellness. We understand the impact of emotional regulation on healing. People struggle with the spiritual aspect because they struggle with principles like fear, control, and faith, which is the third area of the triangle of trust, which says, I trust that the release of a person is a part of me getting into alignment. Let me tell you something. If somebody has ever released you, or you've ever released somebody and you felt uneasy about that release, but that release was in alignment with your values, There's nothing wrong with you. Say this again. If you've ever released a person, or that person has released you, and that release made you feel uneasy, though the release was in alignment with your values, ain't nothing wrong with you. That uneasiness is the beginning of you returning back to alignment. Because you know what I found out? You can be in something that's comfortable that you like, but if it ain't aligned, if you like it long enough, you'll ignore the fact that it ain't aligned because it feels so good. This is why you can't trust your feelings. Your feelings will fool you and make a fool out of you. I don't trust connections that just feel good. Say it again. I don't trust connections that just feel good. A connection that lasts has to last beyond the feeling, so that when you get your feelings hurt, you're not so discombobulated that you can't return to center by realizing that being released was designed to push you back into alignment. But no, you know what we do? We try to fight people and try to hold on. I ain't gonna let you go, baby. I know you are my, some of y'all put God in this. God sent me to you. You my person. I'm not gonna let you go. And you don't realize that if they released you and that release was in alignment with your values, it's probably just getting you back to alignment. And you probably should have never been comfortable. But when you focus more on how you feel than what's aligned, you end up fooled. When you focus more on how you feel than what's aligned, you end up fooled. When you focus more on how you feel than you are aligned, you end up fooled. And I'm going to tell you how you know you're healing. You're going to know you're healing. Watch. When you get released from someone, especially those of you that had to release, been released from someone, or those of you that had even had to release people, you've either released someone or you have been released. And it initially hurts, but then you look at the situation for what it is and you recognize that the path to alignment is probably faster without them than it is with them. When you have the maturity to admit that, that's when you're cooking. That's when you're cooking. Record this. Letting go is not losing them, it's trusting alignment. Record it. Hurry. Letting go. Y'all supporting the show? I don't think y'all supporting the show. Thank you, Miss Erica, for your support as well. Letting go is not losing them, it's trusting alignment. Letting go is not losing them, it is trusting alignment. That if letting go means I'm going to move closer to being aligned, I'm better off going in the direction of alignment than what's comfortable. And when you tap into alignment, you recognize that comfort is optional. This is why. This is why. Let me tell you one of the reasons why people can't let go of the people that ultimately never belong to them. Let me tell you why. You ready? The reason why many people struggle with letting go to people who never belong to them is because our generation and culture, and when I say our generation, I'm referring to, if you're breathing, I'm talking to you, right? I'm not talking about age ranges. Okay. The reason why our generation struggles with letting go, you know why? I want you to put this in all caps. This generation does not like to suffer. I wish I had an hour to talk about this. Thank you, Just Stanby. I appreciate your support. This generation doesn't like to suffer. This generation has a low tolerance for pain. Now, you got a high tolerance for trips and money and attention, but you have a low tolerance for pain. And anything that feels like it's going to hurt you, you literally come up with excuses in your mind to avoid those things, and you gaslight yourself in thinking that because you avoided pain, you've avoided a bad thing. I got bad news for you. Some of the worst things that have ever happened to me turned out to be some of the best things that ever happened to me, and that includes breakups. Did it hurt? Yeah. Was it supposed to feel good? No. And when you get a better tolerance for pain, you'll realize that people walking out of your life are dumping you. Not only pushes you into alignment, but it allows you to embrace better days because you learn how to embrace suffering. Watch this. This is salad worthy because y'all gonna make me starve at the rate y'all supporting this show. I want you to record this. You ready? When you are not afraid to suffer, guess what? You're not afraid to lose people either. You're not afraid to lose people when you're not afraid to suffer. Show me somebody that's afraid to lose somebody, and I will show you somebody who by default is afraid to suffer. When you are not afraid to suffer, you're not afraid to lose somebody either. And that is as close to being securely attached or having a secure attachment style as you're going to come. When you can get to a place where you say, you know what? I love him. I love her. But if I got to lose him, if I got to lose her, and it's going to hurt, I would rather endure the pain of the loss than to be positioned to sit up here and hold on to something that in the end is going to make me suffer more. People that aren't afraid to suffer aren't afraid to lose nothing. And let me tell you something. You can't hurt a person who ain't afraid to lose you. I'm going to say it slow. The reason why some of you are butthurt over the relationship is because you were afraid to lose them. But guess what? You can't hurt a person who is not afraid to lose you. Can't. There's nothing you can cheat, you can go out here and have a hot girl, hot boy summer. You can do whatever you want to do. It ain't gonna phase a person who's afraid to lose, who ain't afraid to lose you. Why? Because I said it last week. We ran it. Some of y'all came from Blockbuster. Some of y'all too young to know what Blockbuster is. Some of y'all came from Blockbuster. Some of y'all came from the library. Some of y'all came from the rental car place. Everybody rented. And when you embrace that everybody has an assignment in your life, then you realize that a person can't hurt you when you ain't afraid to lose them. Some of y'all are still reeling over the relationship and over the breakup because you have not been honest about the fact that from the beginning you were afraid that though you got them, you were afraid that you were going to lose them. And anytime your pockets are filled with fear regarding any connection, that fear will eventually manifest itself in that connection. Anytime your pockets are filled with fear in any connection, eventually that fear is going to manifest itself in that connection. Now, let me give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is for those of you that are in relationships that are trying to figure out, do I stay if I go? Y'all asked me to talk about this month. I wasn't going to even talk about relationships. Hey, y'all support the show. Y'all supporting the show? Y'all support the show. I wasn't going to even talk about relationships. Y'all wanted me to do this, so I'm doing it. Let me give you 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me give you 5 signs that the season, i.e., the relationship, i.e., the connection, might be over. I'm going to help y'all. This is bonus. This is going to help further prove my point that people don't belong to us. I'm going to give you 5 signs that the season, the connection that you have with someone might be over. Y'all ready? Is this helping? Are y'all supporting the show? Sign number 1. Peace is gone, but attachment remains. Sign number 1. Thank you, Miss Natalie Moss. I appreciate your support. Sign number 1. Peace is gone, but attachment remains. Meaning, in that connection you rarely got consistent peace. And even though you rarely have peace, you are somehow miraculously, I can't talk tonight. You are somehow miraculously still connected to them. If you're in a connection that has no consistent peace, but you're attached, season over. Oh my God. Season's over. I'm not talking about an occasional bad day. Every couple relationship, because I know there's always one. Every relationship has its ups and downs, and you have a good day, you have a bad day. But come on, some of y'all need to pull out a calendar and start counting. You need to count the days. Literally, just get you a blank block calendar, like blocked calendar, and just count the days. Put a circle in the days that are good and an X in the days that are bad, and count them. Guess what? The X's shouldn't outweigh the O's. Oh my God. So I'm not talking about an occasional bad day, but peace is going to leave when there is no consistent peace. You ought to have more good days than bad days. And if you got more bad days than good days, and you know this, and you have the self-awareness, the honesty to admit it, and you still attached. Oh my God. Nah, that's not it. Sign 2. Good evening. Thank you so much. Sign number 2. Here's the second sign that this season, this attachment, this thing you're trying to possess is over. A second sign is that you're working harder than the connection is. You're working harder than the connection is. Listen, you should never be working harder than the relationship is working for you. I want to say this slow. For all of you one-sided effort people, you're the only one in counseling, therapy, coaching. They don't want to go. And when they do go, you practically have to beg them to go. You're the only one doing the work. You're the only one working on yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. You're the only one doing these things. But that connection isn't returning back to you what you're pouring into it. Season's probably over. Oh my God. Season's probably over. And at that point, if you're still holding on, it's probably this stuff just like nostalgia. Just holding on to nostalgia, like the idea of what was. A connection should work as hard for you as you're working for it. You don't believe it? Tell you what. If that principle don't make sense, I tell you what you do. You take $200 and go take it to the bank and put it in there and leave that $200 in there. This is probably a horrible example, but it works. You take $20,000 and take it to the bank and put that $20,000 in that bank account and go back and check on that $20,000 in 5 years. If you ain't got a little bit of money in that bank account didn't do nothing for you. And you know what good connections always do? Good connections, when you connected to the right people, let me give y'all a life hack here. For those of you that's on dating apps, going to these speed dating events, let me give you a little hack that's going to help you. Here's a little cheat question you can ask anybody. You want to get to know what kind of mate they're going to be? Ask them this. When was the last time they took something, a connection with someone, and they multiplied that connection and made it better? You know why? Because good connections take what you deposit into them and they return interest. Good connections take what you deposit to them and they return interest back to you. Some of you have taken your $20,000, go back to the analogy, and you have put it in that relationship. Watch. And you didn't even get back what you put in. Some of y'all lost money. I don't even know if this is making sense. Some of you lost money. What you put into a person, they couldn't even take that and return that. You got back less than what you put in. So how can you get back less than what you put in and then be shocked that the season is over? How can you get back less than what you put in and still trying to hold on to them like you possess them? How can you get back less than what you put in, but be so hurt when they disconnected from you? I tell you why. That's your brokenness and your anxiousness and your attachment. Thank you, God's gift. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, sweet Talia. Thank you, Tali. Thank you for your support. Is this making sense? So no, you should never be working harder than the connection. Here's the third sign. The connection is probably over. You ready? When you're explaining yourself more than you're being understood. If you've ever been in a connection where you're explaining yourself more than people actually understand you, you're in a danger zone. This is why I know some of you are butthurt over people that really weren't even adults. They were sons and daughters. You know why? Because the only person you explain yourself more to than you're being understood is a kid. Oh my God. The only person you explain yourself more to than you're being understood is a kid. By nature, a kid just can't always understand adult things. So that because they can't understand adult things, if you're a decent parent, you're going to be doing a lot of explaining. Kids are going to have a lot of questions. You're going to have to be comfortable explaining things over and over and over again. But just by natural nature. If your relationships are going like that, where you always explaining, but you ain't never understood, that's because he your son, sis. That's your son. You might as well go catch that Similac on sale down the street. 2 for 1 sale. You go get some, mix it with a little bit of water. Hey, bro, if you explain it more to her than what she's able to understand from you, that's your daughter. Oh my God. I know this is hard for people to hear, but it's life. Thank you, the honeybee. I appreciate you. It's the truth. It- it's the it's the truth. You might as well go to the store and buy some onesies. And what is sad about this is that these are the very relationships that have people broken up for months and years. You know why? Not because that other person was great, but because you're so broken. Because only a broken person gets devastated by their connection with a son. Only a broken person gets devastated by their broken connection with their daughter. Only, only, only a broken person. That leads me to number 4. Here's the 4th sign that the season, the connection that you're in is over. The relationship requires you to abandon yourself. If the marriage has required you to abandon yourself, it's over. Anytime you got to give up you, suppress you in order to survive in a situation, that season, that connection is over. And if you are crying and whining over that connection when it's over, it is because you have found yourself being addicted to the attention that a broken person is giving to you because you're not secure enough to give it to yourself. Plain and simple. Fifth sign, the season's over. Fifth sign, the connection is over. Your connection to them feels drained instead of developing. Your connection to them feels drained instead of developing. It feels drained instead of developing. It's a good sign that season's probably over. Why? Because anything that is not developing is what, y'all? Dying. Anything that is not developing is dying. If your career isn't developing, it's dying. If your relationship with your children isn't developing, it's dying. Doesn't mean it has to be the same. Your relationship with your kids at 20 has to be the same as it was when they were 2, but it should be developing and evolving. It's one of the things I know about me and my kids and spending time with them and raising them, that I'm embracing, though sometimes it's hard, that they're 12 and 13 now. I can't be walking around acting like they're 5 and 6. They not. They got opinions now. They have perspectives on things. Doesn't mean it's always right, but it requires the patience to be able to communicate with them and engage them. Not be like, oh, you just 4 or 5, be quiet, you don't know what you're talking about. When they 15, really? That's a connection that's not developing. That's a connection that's draining. Watch this. And a kid will be even turned off by their connection with their parents if their parents don't develop with them and they develop and grow together. Oh my God. Some parents think they can't train their kids. Yes, you can. I'm talking about young kids. I'm talking about those of us that have grown adult kids that's got living parents. You absolutely can train your kids because a parent has to evolve in a parent-child relationship, just like we expect the children to evolve. Here you are 80, your children 50, and you trying to raise them still like they 10. It don't make sense. These connections have to evolve. And the way this involves is simple. When you deal with breakups or disconnects on any level, you got to shift your perspective from loss to completion. I want you to record that. I want to challenge you to shift your perspective from losing things to things, assignments being completed in your life. I didn't lose the relationship was completed. Many of you say things like the relationship ran its course. That works too. But I need you to make a fundamental shift in that, because if not, you will find yourself when breakups occur saying things like, why did this happen to me? Why did they do this to me? Instead of saying things like, what did this season come to teach me? What was the purpose of this season? What was this season trying to show me that perhaps I was struggling with or I was missing because I was so connected to what was going on or who was involved? You shift from why did this happen to what is this trying to teach me? What did this season, through this relationship, what was it designed to bring to me? And how was that thing designed to make me a better person? When you process losses like that, y'all, you don't take losses as personal. You don't take losses as situations or losses with people as situations like you own them. You don't own nobody. This is very important. This is what I know about people. I want you to record this. Most people fall as it relates to your connections in your life. Most people reflect one of these three things: either a lesson, actually, one of four things: either a lesson, a blessing, a mirror, or a revelation. Most of the connections that you have with people, they will either be a lesson, a blessing, a mirror, or a revelation. Every time. And so when breakups, relationships fall apart, the best way you can find yourself not walking around, moping and looking crazy over somebody, over a season that came to an end that you can't stop, you learn how to put people in their proper categories. Was this person a lesson? If they were, learn the lesson, move on. Was this person a blessing? Because guess what, y'all? Let me make sure the mic on is for this. Because people, oh boy, this second one really reveals something that I gotta talk about real quick. And I'm gonna hurry and let y'all go. I'm gonna make a quick announcement or two and then let you guys go. Y'all do realize that some people you gonna lose and they not bad people. You just weren't meant to have them. Is this thing on? Some people you lose, some people you're gonna lose, not because they were bad people. They didn't do nothing to you. They were good to you. They were good people. They were honest people. And so were you. But guess what? They just weren't your assigned person. You weren't supposed to have them. So we all get the lessons. Yeah, girl. Yeah, bro. They were a lesson. I'm glad it's over. I learned my lesson. But you know what? Where some of y'all struggle? What about the people you lost that were a blessing? Oh my God. Because everybody you lost wasn't bad. Everybody you lost wasn't bad. Everybody you lost wasn't bad. Now I know because this generation can't take rejection, you will lose a good person and create a bad narrative to make you feel better about the fact that you can't have them. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. You will absolutely create a narrative in your mind that it had to be something wrong with them. You will come up with things so that you can feel better in your mind about the fact that you were rejected instead of just accepting that, you know what, this was a good person. They just apparently wasn't my person. And some of you can't relate to that, but some of us can. Some of us know what it's like to lose good people, and it was nothing wrong with them, and it was nothing wrong with us. They just weren't for us. I like that, Shakita. And if you don't have any self awareness, meaning honesty with yourself about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing, this is going to go on one end or the other. And that's why this generation hates rejection. Oh, this generation can't stand rejection. This generation will create reasons to hate you when you're a good person just because you don't want them. This generation. Real quick, I got 10:08, so I got 7 minutes. I'm doing good. Is this making sense, y'all? Is this helping anybody? Y'all supporting the show? Let's get those ways to support up on the screen. Y'all supporting the show? I hope this is helping y'all. I'm going to end it with this. I'm going to give you 4 easy steps that you can let go, that you can use to let go for real. I'm going to give you 4 easy steps you can take to let go for real. Any relationship, any connection. I'll give you 4 easy steps to do it. You ready? Step 1, accept the season. Instead of y'all trying to fight and understand seasons and trying to beg people, make them and keep sweat them to death and make them stay. Don't worry, I ain't gonna hold my nose tonight as bad as I want to. As much as y'all try to keep sweat these seasons in these connections with people, you want to learn how to let go. The first thing you need to do is learn how to accept the season that you're in. And if every sign in that season is pointing to that connection being done, you got to learn how to accept it. You have to learn how to accept it. And sometimes that simply looks as simple as you stopping with your efforts of trying to restart what ended. Stop trying to restart stuff that already came to an end. Not every car that dies is meant to be recranked. Okay? Step 2, stop rewriting the story. Stop rewriting the story. What do I mean by that? I mean, I need you to honor the truth about the connection. I need you to honor the truth about who they were. I need you to honor the truth about who you are and your role in it, instead of trying to live on a fantasy island about who they were and what they represented. Where many people mess up with this one is that you struggle with letting go because you can't let go of who they were to you when they were good. Oh my God. So you hold in your mind, oh, well, yeah, I ain't gonna walk away because let me get my list together. I'm not gonna walk away because they told me that they can be a good person, they can be a good mate, they can be a good partner. They already proved they could be a good partner. So I'm gonna just hold on to them. Baby, it don't rain 365 days out of the year. Seasons change. And just because somebody was good for your past don't mean they're good for your future. That should be common sense. That ain't nothing fancy. All of us have heard that phrase before. Learn how to honor the truth about people instead of living on fantasy island and being in love with the idea of people and the idea of who they were and what they used to be and what they represented. Okay? Honor the truth, not a fantasy. Step 3, this is important. Reclaim your energy. Reclaim your energy. Reclaim your spirit. This is important, which means you've got to do what it takes to learn how to emotionally detach. This is probably one of the biggest challenges with most people when it comes to breakups, divorces. It is the emotional attachment that you have with a person. Why? Because your emotional detachment has you detached from logic. And the best way to emotionally detach is to change your thoughts about the situation. It is mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Those are my 5 areas of healing. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Not emotional, mental. So when your emotions are off, you go back to the thing that supersedes it to correct those emotions. What supersedes your emotions? Your thoughts. So if you want to fix your emotional imbalance about a relationship or a marriage that is ended, stop trying to fix an emotion with an emotion. Go back and correct the thought. You ain't just sad because they left. You got to ask yourself, why am I sad? What are the thoughts that I have regarding this relationship that's causing me to be sad? One of your thoughts might be, I thought this was my forever person. Well, we know that's a false thought. So you got to replace it. Because if you hold on to the thought that this was your forever person, that thought keeps you what? In this emotional loop. So the only way you can change the emotional loop is you got to go back and change the thought that's feeding it. I love running my soundboard. One day I'm gonna get somebody, I'm gonna have a studio team, have them do it, and they gonna just know when to do it. I can just stand right here and talk to y'all. Does this make sense? So you gotta learn how to emotionally detach. That helps you reclaim your energy. Another thing that you need to learn how to do is set better boundaries. Let's talk real quick about boundaries. If you've been following my work for any significant period of time, you know how I define boundaries. Boundaries are two-sided fences. I've been saying this for years. Go back and check the records. Been saying it for years. Boundaries are two-sided fences. When you set a boundary, you're putting up a fence, and that fence is designed to protect you from others. That fence is also designed to protect you from yourself. So if you want to reclaim your energy, one of the best ways to do it, in addition to emotionally detaching, is putting up boundaries in your life, putting up fences around you, and recognizing that those fences will teach people how to treat you and handle you. And equally important, it will teach you how to treat and handle yourself. Boundaries are two-sided fences. Okay? This is very important. Set these boundaries, stick to these boundaries. And remember that when you're trying to set a boundary, it's not always going to feel good, but you got to embrace suffering in order to get back into alignment. Record it. You have to embrace suffering to return to alignment. You have to embrace suffering to return to alignment. It's critical. Here's the 4th step you can use to let go. It's right along those veins. Return back to alignment. What does returning back to alignment look like? I'll give you a couple of things that it looks like. Number one, it looks like focusing on your values. Focus on your values. What are your values? I teach values. I have something, it's a patented thing called the value system. Values are your attitudes, beliefs, perspectives, and principles. They are the attitudes, beliefs, perspectives, and principles that govern the way you live. And every time there's a major life event, there's a shift in values. All of your values may not change. Sometimes none of your values change. But every time there's a major life event, you should go back and revisit your values to see if that major life event merits you changing either your attitudes, beliefs, perspectives, or principles. So if you go through a breakup, evaluate your values. What are my values now as a divorced person, as a single person? What's going to be the set of attitudes, beliefs, perspectives, and principles that govern the way I live? And then begin to align your life up with those things. What is that going to do? Eventually, it's going to bring you back into alignment. You can focus on your mental, emotional, and spiritual agreement. You can focus on your mental, emotional, and spiritual agreement, meaning your thoughts, your feelings, and the principles regarding your life that are greater than what you understand should all agree. Right? So when people talk about doing the work, these are things that I do the work that I do with my clients to get them back into alignment. It's one thing for you to say you want peace. It's another thing to say that you feel great about peace. It's another thing to say that you believe you deserve peace. It's another thing to be out here choosing Pookies and Keishas that don't bring you peace. Oh my God. That's because what you say and what you do and what you believe are not agreeing. And when those three things don't agree, you're not going to function in authentic alignment. It's not going to happen. Thank you, Ms. James. I appreciate you. Is this making sense? I hope it's making sense. Was this helpful? Listen, I got a quick announcement. Many of you have been asking about when I'm going to open up my calendar for new clients. Many of you have been asking about doing couples work. You're married, you're in relationships, things like that. You want to do couple sessions. The reality is, I have, for every video that I do, I get now, because I haven't posted in a while, though that's going to start resuming here in a couple of weeks. So I'll be back on the posting schedule. Somebody emailed me this week and was like, Doc, you putting everything on Patreon? No, I just haven't been posting. I've been really working on resetting my business. Thank you so much. Yes, 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 yes. So many of you have been asking, right? So two big announcements. Many of you have been asking, Doc, when are you going to open up your calendar for new clients? Well, I don't know if I'll ever open up my calendar again for new clients in the same manner that I used to. Let me explain. Because opening up my calendar the way I used to creates this never-ending funnel of people that are waiting. And in this space, I'm one of a few people who literally have people who wait 4, 5, 6 months just to see me one time. Okay, I got the notes to prove it. So that's a lot, especially when people have pressing issues. And it's a good problem to have, and I'm very grateful for it. I am. I think it speaks to the fact that I really am the authoritative voice in healing and alignment when it comes to correcting things like fear, trauma, and anxiety. That's what I do. That said, I don't think I'll ever open up my clientele books like that again for individual clients in that manner. What I am going to do is I'm working on an application process, and this is important. This is important. I'm working on an application process for people that want to become individual clients, because this is what I know. As much as y'all gonna try to want to fight me in the comments or kick and scream when you watch this replay, if we leave it up, I need you guys to support the show, because these are two very important announcements. The fact of the matter is, it's rare when I do individual sessions or couple sessions where I hear something that I ain't never heard before. Not only that I've never heard before, but that I've never even not done content on. And I think sometimes when we go through challenges, we really believe we're the only people going through this. Like, so we're the only people that's been cheated on. We're the only people that's got partners that don't want to go to therapy, that's mean, that's anxious or avoidant. No, no, I probably, for many of the topics that I deal with on a weekly basis, I probably repeat myself. Out of about 35 to 40 calls a week, I probably repeat myself easily 20 to 25 times a week. Okay. You know what that means? That means that what I have to offer is going to help a lot of people. So, two things. If you're a couple in a relationship or in a marriage and you want to do some counseling sessions, I'm going to have an application for individual sessions with folks like that if they want to do single sessions. But the better thing to choose right now, I posted it today, is my 3 hour intensive. These are very good. Why? Because most clients that I've helped, couples that I've helped, it's rare when I've had to see a couple for longer than 5 or 6 sessions. It rarely happens, y'all. It rarely happens. And with the way I'm scaling my business and moving my business around, I will be able to see more people and do more of these as the scale completes. And so if you're interested in doing some couples counseling work, I had 6 dates, and before I could even post one was already taken. One was already taken before I could even post them. So now I'm down to 5 dates over the next 2 months. The dates are out there. If you're interested, go ahead and secure one of those slots, follow the instructions, and we'll set up a 3 hour period of time. And we will get you some solutions in 3 hours. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't. And I don't say that in arrogance. I just say that because I really do believe that the systems that I have in place can help you get to a place of healing and alignment. Okay. So check out my website and you can get more information on that. Second big announcement. I just said that I probably won't be accepting clients like that, individual clients or individual sessions, the way I used to. Remember, I would open up my books every May and I would open up my books every November. And because I really couldn't do any more than 2 times a year, just the way my books fill up, the way people are on the waiting list, the way I have all these messages. Doc, let me know when you're, it's a never ending flood. And Doc, y'all, is not in the phase of his career after having been in this coaching and counseling space for just over 20 years. I'm not in the take 13 calls a day phase. I love y'all. Okay. I do. Doc's not in the taking 12 to 13 calls a day phase of his career anymore. Okay. And I think I've earned that. But I've created something and I want to share with you and I want to open it up to you. Many of you know or may have heard a couple of weeks ago, I did 50 interviews. I'm building a program. I did 50 interviews with 50 outstanding people. And I'm going to be making shooting out some messages to a few of them tomorrow to invite them to be a part of my initial cohort for a program that I have created. And that program is simple. It's called the Healing Blueprint. And this program is going to be a program that will allow you to work through the common challenges that I deal with on a daily basis that are going to bring you from a place of fear and anxiety and trauma, challenges with your traumas, to healing and alignment. I'm doing a free webinar April the 9th. Free webinar April the 9th. You have to RSVP for the webinar. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the webinar in the chat now. Why? Because I'm capping the attendance for the webinar and I'm capping the attendance for the cohort. I am only going to accept people who are serious about their healing journey and want to do this work. And I'm going to talk about that webinar or this program on April the 9th. So there's the link. If you would like to hear more about this awesome program, and sit through this lesson, where I'm going to use our time together to talk to you about how to embrace self awareness, to identify and address pain points. We're going to talk about practical steps to shift limiting beliefs, that hold you back from being the best version of you. We're going to talk about daily practices you can use to build emotional clarity and emotional resilience, emotional regulation, how you can create inner peace from challenging traumas of the past. Just about anything you can think of is going to be included in this program. And I'm going to open it up. My goal is to open it up to about 30 to 50 seats max for the initial rollout of this program. And so I'm going to talk about this on April the 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love for you, if you're interested in doing healing work and you're serious about doing healing work, to attend that webinar and to be a part of this lesson and see for yourself how my work can empower your growth. Now, I don't feel like I'm in a space where I have to prove that my work is effective. I think we can see the fruit of that. This isn't about proving anything. This is absolutely about building things like community and curriculum, through the coaching expertise that I have. This is going to be great. I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited about building this cohort and then eventually expanding it beyond the 30 to 50 to whomever wants to be a part of it. So I'm going to talk about this April the 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, how you can move through those pain points in your life, move towards healing and alignment, and how this program can help you. And I would love to see you there. You have to RSVP, and I think you're going to enjoy it. But it's the wave of the future. Again, I want to be very clear. If you're a current client, I've already shared this with my current clients. I'm not going to kick you out. I'm not kicking you out as a current client and telling you you can't work with me anymore. I'm not doing that. My current clients are going to stay on the books for as long as they want to. If you want to be a new client that wants individual sessions, it's going to have to be an application process. And your argument for us to meet is going to have to be quite compelling. And when I say that, it is not from a place of not wanting to help you, but it is from a place of helping you to realize that I have tools that are already designed to get you where you need to be. And this program is going to be the biggest tool that I've ever offered, the biggest tool that I've ever offered. And it's going to put you in a community with other people that are working on the same challenges. That's going to move you from where you are to where you need to be in your healing journey. Okay, so definitely check it out. This will go up. I'll have this flyer go up tomorrow. It'll go on the social media networks. I'm going to cap attendance to this. And I'll have instructions at the end of the webinar about how you can be considered for that cohort program, because it will be through selection only. It is because I'm building something. I want to make sure that I build it right. And then after that, it'll be open to whomever. After I do some work with the cohort, it's going to be open to whomever wants to be a part of it. And so it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're willing to invest into your healing journey, and exercise the accountability to heal and grow, I think you're going to enjoy what I put together. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's not. So if you're lazy, you don't want to do the work, you want to just sit and talk to a therapist for years, this is not for you. It's just not. It's not going to be a good idea, because this not that. Right? I don't ever want you all to forget the number 67.3. Anybody remember what the number 67.3 it represents? Anybody remember that? I explained this to you all before. Does anybody remember what the number 67.3 represents by chance? Anybody? I'm looking at the comments to see if anybody remembers. Does anybody remember what the number 67.3 represents for me and my work? I bet Caitlin knows. She probably knows. Anybody? Does anybody know what 67.3 represents? No. 67.3 is the average amount of days that a client stays with me. It doesn't take long. Obviously, you have some clients that stay shorter, you have some clients that stay longer. I think the longest I've ever had a client with me is a year and a half active. Exceptional case, exceptional circumstances. 67.3 days. So this is powerful. It's not going to take long. But the way I'm creating this program is it's going to give you a considerable amount of months to work on this program within a community. It's going to really give you the tools that you need to heal. And I'm excited about it. And so I'll talk more about that on April the 9th. I don't want to talk you to death now. I've got 10:31. I've already run 15 minutes over. I don't want to talk you to death about it now, but there's the link. I'll have the link posted up tomorrow with the flyer for those of you that want to be a part of it. And I really hope you will. I think you're going to see I'm over here just playing with the format of these things now. Just over here, just playing, y'all. Just don't mind me. I hope you all will be a part of it. Feel free to take this link and share it with someone else. Copy the link and share it with someone else that you know is on a healing journey, that's serious about their healing journey, that is really ready to do something about their healing journey. I want you to encourage them to be a part of this as well. And I think you all are going to hear what I have to say or going to love what I have to say on April the 9th. Okay. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope this was helpful. If you didn't support the show already, make sure you do so. The ways to support the show are on the screen. I appreciate all of your support as always. I'm thankful for each of you and just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of your journey on tonight. All right. Peace and blessings. The way to support the show are on the screen. Thank you so much for those of you that supported the show. Doc, really appreciate you. Don't forget there is no live next week. Spring break for my kids. I'll be hanging with the kiddos. So there's no live next Thursday. And then the Thursday after that, I'm going to do the webinar. It's not going to be live on YouTube. You're going to have to register to be a part of that. And so make sure you hit the registration link and you'll see a lot of messages going out about that over the next week and a half. And we will go from there. And I'll tell you, by that time, there will be some seats already taken as a part of the first cohort. So this is definitely going to be something you're going to want to move on really quickly. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Peace and blessings. Appreciate all of you. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Take care.